Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry and this is episode 135. We're talking about the 10-minute solution for getting unstuck. And my goal is for this podcast to be 10 minutes or less so you can get that feeling just by listening to this podcast. All right, so today we're doing a brief review of the microburst. This is a simple, doable, motivating solution that can help you to build momentum on projects or tasks or routines that might feel overwhelming to you. And if right now you have a lot of things that feel overwhelming to you, I want you to pay close attention to this concept and identify some ways you can use the power of the microburst to help you to build that momentum that you've been craving, that you've been hoping for, maybe that you didn't even believe was possible. I don't want you to feel stuck. And I know with so much going on in the world and so much going on in your life and so many things that your heart wants to do and you feel like, I don't know how to get it all done, I promise this is going to help you to start feeling some relief and start realizing that you can use your energy in ways that will move you towards your goals without having to feel that like I'm walking through mud, okay? So essentially, a microburst is 10 minutes of dedicated, distraction-free energy focused on moving you closer to your goals. So I'm going to share a few recent examples from my own life, and then I'm going to share just a few principles that will help you as you're identifying your own microbursts. So, okay, number one, unpacking from a trip. Eric and I were at a business conference last week, and we came home and our flight had been canceled. We got delayed through another state. We had so many things waiting for us by the time we got home. Some emergencies had popped up in our extended family. It was like you come home and then I kind of crashed. I was so tired. But then I had this suitcase that was full of stuff. So, okay, what do I do with that? As I looked at that suitcase, I just thought, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff I need to go through, and there's laundry and things go in multiple places. And this big suitcase just seemed like something I didn't want to touch. But you don't want that sitting there for weeks and weeks, right? So now I am fully unpacked, and I'll just share how I did it, and it was using the microburst. So first of all, as I looked at that suitcase, I thought, okay, what could I do just in 10 minutes before I go to bed tonight, just to at least start getting unpacked? And I decided to just empty out my suitcase and put things into little sub piles. So I had one pile of things that would go back to my office, things like some chargers and some computers and like my passport, right? Stuff that needed to be put away. Then I had a pile of things that need to go into the bathroom. So these are all the toiletries and, all my little travel things that need to go back into my travel case and stuff like that. I also had a pile of laundry. I actually put that right into our laundry baskets. We have one for darks, one for lights. And then I had a pile for the kitchen because I had to take a lot of different foods with me since I have kind of a different diet I follow. So I had a kitchen pile. And then I had a pile of things that just needed to go back in the closet. And I was standing in the closet as I was doing this. So I was able to kind of put it in a pile. And then some of it I could immediately just hang back up or, put my sandals away or whatever. Okay. So that was my 10-minute microburst. I just put things in sub-piles. Then I left the closet. And it was okay because things were subdivided. And then I just did 2 more microbursts, the following day or two, where while I'm blow drying my hair in the bathroom, I'm putting away all that stuff that was in the pile that I put in the bathroom. And then before Eric and I got ready to work, I took all the things out of the kitchen and put things up in my office and just moved them back where they needed to go. So just by taking 10 minutes at a time, it helps you not to think, oh, I need to do every little thing right now and get all my laundry done and process all my notes. My notebook is sitting right on my desk, and I have a calendar trigger for tomorrow to go through my notes and be able to kind of digest everything that I learned. That's kind of a different project, though, so I won't talk about that right this minute. But unpacking a suitcase, so easy when you look at that 10-minute microburst. All right, number 2, planning some events. Right now, Eric and I are planning 4 different evening events with some of the college students that live nearby and in our church congregation. We're having them over to our homes, just like different groups at a time. So I have a Google form I created. We've got people signing up. I have some open slots for this next week. I had one email someone had sent to me, and I needed to be able to send out some additional messaging to be able to fill up the other slots. So as I thought about it, it kind of felt heavy, like, oh man, I need to go figure out all these details and I need to get everything organized. And it felt like, oh, maybe I'll do that later today. And then this morning when I woke up after I had my morning spiritual time and my prayer and kind of getting ready for the day and prepared mentally for the day, I thought, I could just do a microburst on this and see how far I can get, because it's already on my list for today, but I don't want to postpone it till later, because sometimes when you postpone things, it just feels bigger than it really is. So I went ahead and opened my computer, and I opened up my Google Calendar. I opened up my Google Drive where I had the form and the spreadsheet, and I had my email opened. And it was literally 10 minutes. It wasn't a big deal. I was able to check the Google Sheet, email the people who'd signed up, put things on my calendar with their cell numbers so that I can, text reminders when it's time. I was able to send another group email to all of the people who were invited to get them to sign up. And then I set a little calendar trigger for myself this Friday to send text to remind the people who are coming next week. So within 10 minutes, I was done. Now, if I hadn't done that, I would have been waiting all day until I had this big open spot of time, and that probably wouldn't have happened, and it would have kind of been weighing on me all day. But literally in 10 minutes, I got it done, so it wasn't a big deal, and it feels great. Okay, and then last example from my life. We have a 4 weeks to finish bonus class tomorrow. I'm teaching how Asana and Evernote work together. And 4 weeks to finish was a special coaching group. We just did it for our first time. It was super fun. If you want to get on the wait list, it's at learndobecome.com/4 weeks, number 4 weeks. So we're excited to be able to do that again in the future. I don't know the dates yet, but it's super fun. And so as I'm preparing for this class tomorrow, I thought, all right, well, I already have an outline of things I've taught prior. I kind of know what they need. And I have some time tomorrow morning to prepare for it prior to the class, but it was kind of weighing on me because I want to make sure I do a good job. And so I thought, okay, what could I do in 10 minutes or less? What's a microburst I could do to at least help me move forward on it and not have it hang over, my head all day? So I went into our 4 weeks to finish Facebook group. I added a little post and said, hey, what do you want to learn tomorrow in this class? By the time we're done, what do you want to know or feel? Just let me know here. So now I already have, I think, 3 comments on that post, really good comments, people identifying what it is they're looking for. That's awesome. So that's going to be, generating additional comments today, and it will help me tomorrow. I do have time blocked out tomorrow to really focus on it in the morning. And then I also just sat down with a piece of paper and just sketched out, okay, here are a few things that will be helpful with Asana. I want them to understand exactly how the projects work, how routines work, how my tasks works, how the calendar integration works. There's just a few things that I think would be really helpful. And with Evernote, helping them understand the structure and the purpose, and then really how those two work together. So I have that outlined, and really I do this all the time, so I could just get on and teach it, and it could be more conversational. But I usually like to have at least some type of a printed outline so I can show them what we're going to be doing and begin with the end in mind and all that. So that's essentially it. But I literally took 10 minutes or less to work on that. So now that suitcase I needed to unpack, the events that we're trying to plan, and this coaching class that I'm teaching tomorrow, they feel very light and very simple and fun. Okay. All right. Just a few principles and then I will close up. Some keys to making your microbursts powerful is that if your microburst is part of a project, you want that project on your current projects list for the month. I have mine on a chalkboard hanging in my office. I also include it in my Asana. But if it's on the current projects list, you won't forget to go back to it, and you'll continue to identify the next microburst you'll need. Also, you want to list any additional next steps that come to mind on your next actions list when they do come in your mind, as long as they're not dependent on something else. So let's say as I'm unpacking my suitcase, I realize, oh yeah, I actually need to go order a replacement to this item, and it's going to take me more than 2 minutes. I could go ahead and put that on my next actions list in the computer section, so I can go online and look for those things. So you want to make sure that as new ideas are coming into your head, you have a place to write them down and not forget it. And then just one final idea that might help you with your microbursts. If as you are completing them and as you're working on it, you identify something that needs to be done on a certain day, or there's something you need to finish by a certain day, or you want to finish it by a certain day, go ahead and just put that on your calendar. So like I was saying, when I was unpacking my notebook that had, 30 pages of notes and all of my executive summary takeaways from our conference, that's going to take additional time. And I've already analyzed a lot of things. I already put my photos into Evernote. I've already made my lists very focused. So I know what I want to do, but I need to sit down now with that list and then update my current projects, next in line, someday, etc. So that's going to take some time. But I thought, I really need to get that done by tomorrow because I want to be able to have things really focused as we're moving forward, in the month of March. So create that calendar trigger or that event to follow up because your brain needs to know that when you start on a microburst, you're not just like opening up this huge Pandora's box that's never going to be, taken care of. Your brain needs to know, okay, I'm doing 10 minutes to move it forward, but my system, my command central, is going to support me to make sure everything gets finished. Okay, I'm going to close up for now. I will put an outline of what I just talked about on our show notes page. Also, I'll put links to our STEP program, 4 weeks to finished, all of that. Come to learndobecome.com/episode 135. Also, our team just created a really fun little plan. It's like the 1 million minutes of microbursts. And so I think it's a pretty lofty goal, but there's enough of us. If we actually do it, it can work. So if you go to learndobecome.com/TEN, the number 10, there's a little Google form and you can fill out how many minutes of microburst you did. And then you'll be able to see how many minutes our whole community has done. Isn't that fun? Okay, we're going to go do this through the whole month of March. So your invitation today is do some microbursts and then come to learndobecome.com/TEN, fill it out, report back, and let's do some awesome things. Let's build momentum. Let's move forward. I know there's a lot going on. Like I have a lot going on in my head. I feel like, oh my goodness, so many ideas from the conference, so many things needing me. A lot to process, but there is joy as you make progress and as you control what you can control. Okay, hope this helps. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.